Peas are easy to grow provided you start them early. They just don't grow well in the heat of summer. In this video, I'll tell you which peas to grow and how to grow them so that they take up virtually no space at all. Peas taste best when you eat them right in the garden. If you have only eaten store-bought peas, you will be in for a treat. There are three basic types of peas: shelling, snow, and sugar snaps. Shelling peas are also called English peas. The pods are ready for harvest once the peas inside are fully developed. The pods are tough for eating, so people remove the green peas from the pods and just eat the seed, hence the name shelling peas. These peas are easy to grow. The problem is that so much of your crop is left on the compost pile. You only eat the green seeds, and it's a lot of work shelling them. That's too much trouble for me. The snow peas, also called Chinese pod peas, are mature when the seeds are just starting to form. Even though they are harvested before they are fully mature, this type takes longer to grow. I like the taste of these, but again, the harvest is small since you don't really eat the pea seeds. At some point, plant breeders decided to cross the above two types, and they developed sugar snaps, combining the best qualities of both. You grow them until the seeds are almost fully developed and the pods are still tasty, provided you pick them on time. Best of all, you don't have to shell them. This is the only kind of pea I grow. The original variety name was sugar snap, and this is now considered by some to be a heirloom. It is easy to find in stores and seed catalogs. Some newer hybrids include Sugar Ann and Sugar Daddy, but I grow the original sugar snap. The purchased pea seed is very shriveled, and this has led some to suggest that it's best to soak the peas for 24 hours before planting. This allows them to absorb water and get a head start. I have a separate video that looks at this in more detail, and I've added it to the 10 best vegetable playlist. I'll provide a link to it at the end of the video. Plant pea seeds as early as possible, about 1 inch deep. Pat the soil down with your hand to make sure the seed is in contact with the soil. Peas can take some frost, and even seedlings are not harmed by a light frost, so start some very early and hope the spring weather is good. Sow some every 2 weeks so that you have a continual supply of peas. Stop sowing a few weeks after your last frost date. Here's a trick you can use to plant earlier and have a longer crop season. In late fall, remove all mulch from the area where you will be sowing peas. Cover the area with clear plastic and use boards or soil to hold down the edge of the plastic. In spring, this area will heat up much faster than the rest of the soil. As soon as you can dig 1 inch deep, plant a seed and cover up with the plastic again to keep things warm. Remove the plastic once the seedlings show above the soil. This can give you a 2 to 3 week head start. Peas like a fertile soil that drains well, but they do fine in most soils except heavy clay. If you have clay, incorporate some compost to loosen the soil. A pH above 6 is preferred. To learn more about creating healthy soil, have a look at my book, Soil Science for Gardeners. If you plant seed about 2 inches apart, you will not have to thin the plants. Don't fertilize once you've sown the seed. They're light feeders, and too much nitrogen will give you less fruit. After seeding, keep the soil moist but not too wet, especially when the soil is cold. Too much water will rot the seeds. Mulch once seedlings are a couple of inches tall to keep their shallow roots cooler. Water well once you see flowers. Sugar snaps are a short vine that grows to about 5 feet. I like to grow them up a trellis so they take up very little room. My trellis runs north-south, so both sides get good sunlight. By the time the peas are a couple of feet tall, I plant beans or cherry tomato vines on the other side of the trellis. Peas are my early crop, and I'm finished picking them before the second crop needs the space. In this way, I basically get peas without using any garden space at all. If you don't want to use a trellis, try growing Sugar Ann, which is a very good snap pea type, but in bush form. This is also a better option for container gardens. Plant so that each seed is spaced about 6 inches from the next one. The trick to great peas is to harvest at the right time. Sugar snaps are perfect when the seeds are getting plump but are not yet fully developed. The outside of the pod will still be green. If you wait too long, the peas lose their sweetness and the pods start getting a whitish green color. The pod looks like it's drying out, and it starts forming a string, just like beans. They are now past their prime. The more you harvest, the more flowers and fruit each plant will produce, provided the weather is not too hot yet. Harvest carefully. If you just pull the pods off, you might break the vine, which means all of the less mature pods will fail to develop. It is best to hold the stem just below the fruit with one hand and twist the pea off with the other, so the main stem is protected. You can also seed in fall for a late crop. To be successful, you need to shade the seedlings from late summer heat and keep them well watered until cooler temperatures arrive. Peas are fairly pest-free. Aphids can be a problem as warmer weather approaches, but a strong spray of water usually keeps them in check. There are also some root rots, but they don't seem to be a major problem in gardens. Give sugar snaps a try and eat them right in the garden. To see a list of the 10 best vegetables for new gardeners and a separate video on how to grow each one, click on the link in the top right-hand corner. It'll take you to a whole bunch of videos that you'll just love. Have fun growing veg in the garden.